hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out. The autopsy is in. Not the independent autopsy, but the autopsy that Jackson County Coroner has provided, right? And I guess it was done by a man who goes by the name of Bruce Land. And through his observation of doing the autopsy, he is coming out saying that, look, there is no visible trauma to the body. There's no foul play or anything like that. It appears to be done to the body. And what he's waiting on is toxicology. He's waiting, for the toxicology test to come back to see if there was any drugs in his body, if there was any alcohol in Nolan's body, and things like that, right? Now, allow me to say this right here, because I understand that, there might not be any type of trauma to the body. I said might, right? There might not be any visible trauma or injuries to the body. I said might, right? But we gotta understand something. Just because there's no visible trauma, that doesn't mean that a crime hasn't been committed. You see, to kick somebody off a boat and let them drown, you're not gonna find no physical trauma to the body. The drowning is the physical trauma to the body. You see what I'm saying? And so with them just saying that, with the Jackson County Coroner just coming out saying that, there's no visible trauma and all that, no foul play and all that. How do you know? You can't just come out and say that there's no foul play if you ain't did a thorough investigation. And now all of a sudden, now you're looking for toxicology tests. You want to see if he was drunk. You want to see if he was full of drugs and stuff like that. Because that right there would be another scapegoat. That right there would be another, oh, he was drunk. Oh, he was high off drugs. Everybody on that island probably was high and drunk. They ass ain't drowned. You see what I'm saying? Everybody out there drinking. Ain't no telling what kind of drugs they out there doing. They out there getting white boy wasted. It's 4th of July, the 250th year for the United States of America. They getting hammered out there. You see? But ain't none of them drowned. None of them. But now you're going to do the toxicology test on Nolan, so therefore that can give you an out to say, hey, you know what? The guy was drunk. He was underage drinking in the first place. The guy had drugs in his system. You see? No, hell no. That does not mean that he deserves to be dead. Just because he sipped on a little wine or drunk a couple of brewskis. You understand what I'm saying? Smoked some of that good old Mountain Lion Kush or whatever his drug of choice was. I'm not saying that's what he was, but come on, we gonna meet it at it. Like, hey, look, if he was doing anything like that, that doesn't mean that he should be dead or he should have drowned out there. Cause like I said before, everybody out there getting hammered, and they still alive, and Nolan is dead. Now, even though the police has came out publicly and said that, it's a possible accidental drowning, the county coroner has not said that. He hasn't ruled what caused the death of Nolan. He hasn't did none of that. Even though the county sheriff or the police down there already came out and said, hey, yeah, it's a possible accidental drowning. See, like when I hear stuff like that coming from the police, that tells me right there that they sweeping this under the rug, that they really ain't doing no full investigation. They willing to say, oh, it's an accidental drowning. Okay, case closed. We ain't got to do nothing. We ain't got to go interview nobody or nothing. The boy drowned. It's over with. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people believe that Nolan was beat so bad to the point where they couldn't recognize him when his body washed up ashore. And the reason why some people believe that is because the county coroner had to identify him using dental work. And some people believe that, hey, look, why would they have to do that? Usually when they doing dental work, that means that the body is disfigured to the point where it's unrecognizable. The body is burnt to a crisp where it's unrecognizable, and they can't use fingerprints, or they can't use someone looking at the body to say, hey, look, that's Nolan. They need to use the dental, right? For my research, like I can understand, people believing that way, but from my research, when it comes to a county coroner, they need to make sure that the person that they have in front of them is the person that everybody is saying died. You see, in doing that, DNA, fingerprints, dental work and stuff like that, because you can't just say that, hey, look, this is the person that died, and it's really not him. They need to know. Just because somebody else on the outside might say, hey, look, yeah, that is Nolan, they still gonna do their homework so that they can say, hey, you know what, we put it on our report and we have positively identified that this is Nolan. Now, it possibly could be, that there was trauma to the body to the point where they needed to use his dental records to identify him. But as of right now, from what I'm researching and what I'm seeing and stuff like that, they're just doing that right there based on, how they should identify the body versus, a family member or somebody else, because they got to be correct with their records. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Now, as far as the body washing up ashore, right? The parents believe and they say, hey, look, we went out there the next day and we didn't see his body. Why did it take 2 days for his body to resurface and then be washed up on the shore? According to my research, y'all, when a body first drowns, it's going to sink. And the reason why it's going to sink, because the body is heavy, everything is still intact, the body is not decaying yet, rigor mortis and all that stuff hasn't kicked in, so the body sinks to the bottom or wherever it's at, it's going to sink. And what causes the body to resurface is the gases in the body, right? Once your body is dead, your body start, carbon monoxide and all this old type of stuff, methane, all these gases starts to build up in your body, and it causes the body to blow like a balloon. And then the body resurfaces, boom, back to the top, of the water. And then whichever way the water is, the current is going to just, cause that body to float. You see what I'm saying? Because normally, according to science, it takes 3 to 5 days for a body to resurface after drowning. But that depends on if the water is very cold or if the water is warm or hot. If the water is warm or hot, it can get right up there just like that, because the body is now just decaying at a rapid pace. Versus if it was cold water, it slows it down. You see what I'm saying? And being that, they saying that the waters around there, Horn Island, they say that water right there is not too cold to the point where it's freezing cold. We seen all the people, out there kicking it and stuff like that in the water. And so, it would take a couple of days for that body to resurface. You feel what I'm saying? Now, that's not taken away though. Don't get me wrong. That's not taking away that somebody could have came and dropped the body there, after, they did what they did to the body. I'm not saying that. I'm not taking that off the table. But we just dealing with science right now. And according to science, it takes 3 to 5 days. And that depends on the temperature of the water. Y'all feel me? So I just wanted to bring this type of information to y'all so that we can kind of, grasp everything that's going on, dealing with science and dealing with, reality. But at the same time, again, I'm not taking away no foul play or nothing like that, because I believe that boy was murdered. I ain't even gonna lie. Until there's other evidence that I'm talking about, convincing evidence that come out and say that no, there was no foul play or nothing like that. I'm assuming and believing that it's foul play going on. And that is why the family is getting an independent private autopsy. And the cold-blooded part about a private or independent autopsy is that the independent autopsy person is going to dig a lot deeper than what the state coroner is doing. You see what I'm saying? They just looking for stuff on the surface. No, the independent guy, the private guy that they about to, guy or woman that they are hiring to do his autopsy is finna dig deep. They finna be looking for internal injuries, micro injuries. They're going to try to look and see if he had any type of trauma done to his body before the drowning. You see what I'm saying? Before he died. You see, they gonna dig that deep because, you know, easily they can say, well, you know, he drowned in the water and a shark bit him, or a fish, you know, bit him, or a snake grabbed him and squeezed his neck or something like that. You know, they can say that type of stuff because he did drown. But this independent autopsy, this person is going to be looking at injuries before his death, before the drowning. You see what I'm saying? Not only that though, this independent autopsy is going to be looking for stuff like, was it water in his lungs that caused his death? You see? Because he could have died before they threw him in the water. You feel what I'm saying? So this guy right here is finna be looking at all that stuff. Stuff up under the nails, you know, they got to do all that. You see, they gonna do a thorough investigation head to toe versus what, you know, the state autopsy people do. They just, you know, they just trying to clear, okay, he died, how did he die, you know, and if they can't, his death is undetermined. Nah, the independent people, they finna dig deep into the brother's body, and they finna find out how he died, why he died, what caused his death. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm finna stay on this case. I probably will be uploading a few more other videos dealing with some other stuff, other, you know, information that has been coming out, and we gonna stay down on it, you know what I'm saying, until we get a favorable result, whether that be them boys' innocence or them boys' guilt. This is Hood Educated, Not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love.